Hello again, Gary Williams here with another little chit chat with a friend of mine from the artistic world, really just to discuss how this awful virus thing is affecting all of our lives and hopefully to take something positive away from it. And the man you see waiting so patiently, it's like CNN, isn't it? So good to have you with us. Justin Stucey, all the way from where exactly are you now, Justin?
Denver, Colorado.
Denver, Colorado. Sounds very glamorous. So tell me, what's the vibe in Denver right now? What's the feel with this virus? Are you guys on lockdown there?
Yeah, the city put us on lockdown about a week ago. So, everyone is in their homes for the most part. There's a few people, who I see kind of walking around, walking their dogs. Denver's a very dog-friendly city. Yeah, it's very somber here. It's the wave of the effects of COVID-19 have really hit our economy rather aggressively. Our arts community in particular is suffering pretty bad. I myself work, I have worked in the nonprofit sector here in Denver, and I've spoken with my colleagues at symphony and the ballet, just all over, and all these organizations are just really struggling and just really sort of hoping to find ways to secure their future through very uncertain times. So it's very interesting here.
Right. What is it exactly? Explain to us what you do, because when we met, it was like 100 years ago on the QE2.
That would make me much older than that.
And you were like in production then, or you were sound then? Was it lighting or just general production?
Manager. Many moons ago, once upon a time.
Pianos around.
Yeah, once upon a time I was a production manager. It's kind of how I got my start, working artists like yourself on Cunard, so working with lights and sound and production shows. Most recently, I served as the creative director for guest experiences for Denver Zoo.
Wow.
I would produce live shows, entertainment, do what's called design narratives for new exhibits, basically the story behind the world that you're entering to experience the animals. So I've spent the past 2 years working in that capacity, as well as just kind of being out within the arts community here in Denver, which is a very vibrant community. It's a very loving community. We, for the most part, all play very friendly with each other, all the different cultural organizations and arts organizations. So yeah, Denver's home now.
So what has happened to your job now?
Yeah, so my job recently, as of last Monday, I had a meeting with my boss and his boss, who I adore and really look up to, and they had a very difficult conversation with me in which they shared the state of things that have been going on at the zoo, and the challenges obviously that they've been facing, and the organization has done a great job of trying to keep its employees sort of in the loop about how they're trying to handle this type of situation. But on Monday, I found out that I will not be getting my job back after April 1st. So it's a bit scary in some ways, and it's also a bit exciting in some ways. The artist in me is actually very exciting because there are great, amazing things that come out of uncertainty and out of unknown. That's really at the place where the blank canvas of your imagination can really start to paint new pictures of the future.
Oh my God, I'm going to write that down. That's bold. But listen, we're all guilty. We're all usually, nobody's busy now, but we're usually busy. And there are all these ideas that we've got. Oh, if I only had the time to do this, I only have the time to do that. Now we've all got the time. Like, it's actually, we're finding the real challenge is getting the motivation to do it when we're sitting at home in this little bubble, right? I mean, I know it's all very recent. It's probably a little bit more recent for you than it is for us over here, but how are you actually having any success in putting any of these creative ideas down on paper? And, how are you managing to use the time, put the time to good use?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I have found myself thinking certainly about a week ago, just really sort of wondering, what can I do to make this time valuable? And I would say to that, one thing that a light bulb that's kind of gone off in my head is it's redefining the word value. I think many years leading up to this, this point, leading up until Monday when I lost my job as a CD at Zoom, my idea of value was, what is the quality of, the show? Will the show sell? Will people want to engage with the merchandise and the retail within the experience? But I think throughout all of this, what was missing from that was my personal sort of center on, what value am I getting out of it, with the exception of a paycheck and just creative satisfaction. So, this virus to me in my quiet time writing in this past week has really just been about trying to observe and listen to all the things that are happening in social media, how humans are sort of responding cathartically to this, this crazy situation, how we're being inventive with how we connect with one another, how we are trying to dream about the future. Many of my friends all over the world are saying how, once things are kind of leveled back off, that they're going to take crazy trips and they're going to party and they're going to do all these things. So, this
no, they're all going to be broke.
They're all going to be broke. We're going to party together. I think it's really just using this time to kind of turn inward and then to see how I fit within what's playing out around me, and using that as inspiration for my writing. And
that all sounds great, but I'm interested, like your day to day, are you doing things practically to sort of move your ideas on rather than just kind of chatting with friends on social media?
Absolutely. I think it's super important to maintain a personal schedule, because with that schedule you have discipline, and when you have that discipline, it keeps you from slipping into despair, I find.
I agree. There's something very good about ticking boxes off a list. I have a list every day. All right, it just feels good to tick stuff off.
I'm still wearing my pajama pants. I haven't checked that box yet.
So you like working to a schedule?
Loosely. I try to make sure that I spend. I know that my most productive creative time is in the morning when I first wake up, with a cup of coffee. So I really try to protect that time and to use that somehow. And I use it in different ways every day, just however emotionally I'm kind of feeling, what I'm willing to contribute. But yeah, I think it's important to keep that structure so that once we are sort of like thrown back out into the world and we have to perform, we have set ourselves up for success, that we haven't slipped into a whole other realm of living that doesn't really work with what's happening outside.
I guess this is a great opportunity for networking. I always hate that word, but for connecting and reconnecting with people, like going through our address books and, finding the people that we perhaps haven't spoken to for a year or two, that we had a great experience with, did some great work with. Everybody's at home, right? Whether the CEOs of all of these companies, all of the important people, everybody's at home, and everyone's got, many people have got time on their hands. So now's actually there is an opportunity there, isn't there, to use the time to strengthen these relationships.
Absolutely. Yeah. I had a mentor, or have a mentor who, in New York, who actually mentioned that to me. He said, Justin, some of the best opportunities out of life will come through the network and the connections that you already have, with you. So it's really kind of taking a step back, and again, it's not about me, it's reinvesting into people. And I think that act of investing into people, it does pay off, because people think about you, they remember what you do, they learn what you've been doing in different ways than maybe you were in the capacity like you and I previously. And it starts to create new opportunities, new ideas, and hopefully new opportunities.
Yeah. Other examples of your work online? Do you have a website where people can get an idea, if they're interested, to see what it is you do?
Absolutely. Feel free to visit me at justinstucey.com, and my last name is spelled STUCEY.com. And please, send me a note if you're doing this and you just want to have somebody to talk to, or brainstorm ideas. I welcome all of that. We're all in this together. I know that sounds cliche, but it's kind of true. So thanks.
What is your dream job? What is your, like, if someone, maybe someone's watching this now who could send you a message and give you your dream, what is your dream gig?
That's a funny question. Dreams are funny because they don't always translate in reality to how they are framed in your imagination. But if I were to pick something from my imagination, I sound like a politician.
Yeah, just answer the question.
Pick something. I would probably say I would love to work on the creative team for the Olympics one day. I think would be an incredible experience. Yeah, I love show production. I love immersive theater, and I think that certainly coming out of this season that we're going through right now, that people will want to connect in deeper, more meaningful ways, and I would love to be able to be a part of bringing people together to do those sorts of things. So
it is always great talking to you. You've always have such great energy, Justin. I wish you luck and stay safe.
Thanks, Gary. Good talking to you.
Justin, bye-bye.